Hello everyone, this is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you a reading here this evening for Monday, December 5th, 2022. And I know it's been a minute, so I'm hoping that my lighting is okay. I took a minute to try to get that right, so I hope that everybody can see this okay and it doesn't bother them too much. So I use the traditional Rider-Waite deck this evening because I've bonded with that deck so much more deeply than any and all of my other decks, and so I just love that deck so much. And so the card that came out for this evening, we have the Lovers card. Dun, dun, dun. And you know what I'm really drawn to in this card actually is this snake. I don't know if you can see it in the tree here that coils up around the tree trunk and into the top of the tree there over the woman's shoulder. Okay. And what I am going to highlight about this whole card, this whole reading, is really just highlighting that this is a time to choose, right? This is a time for you to know what's best for you, okay? This is a time to just declare, I got options, baby. And so it's time to maybe make a choice for yourself. And so, you know, connecting with this snake, what I really just get the feel for is that there is some betrayal running amok, okay? And so this like snake in the grass type feel. And I feel as though there could be somebody that you are working on developing a relationship with, or maybe you're in a full-blown relationship with this person, but I feel as though this person could come off to you almost acting as if they're doing you favors all of the time. And so I feel like you're starting to call them out slowly on this, or maybe you're just like reversing the roles where you're starting to call some of these shots, because I feel as though they're no longer going to be allowed to carry on as such, right? Like they're not going to be allowed to continue to act as if they've done you so many favors, right? Because you're starting to see through this. I feel as though this person's outside resources are kind of drained, almost like they have kind of continually relied on outer people, like people outside of the relationship, or, you know, something to that effect, or relied on different circumstances to kind of support that so-called truth. And I feel as though this charade is just overall, it's just going to stop right here, because I feel like this person is kind of trapped right where they are, almost in a maze where they hit a spot where they just cannot go any further. They've hit a wall. And so I feel like this is more typical behavior of this person, right? You kind of come to know them a little bit better, and you're seeing this for what it is. When you look at the Lovers card in general, right, we have this card represents, of course, Gemini. And so when we think of Gemini, we get the twins. And so I feel as though it's like two angels on our shoulder, kind of like the twins. And so it's almost as if they're bickering back and forth in duality, right? Where one opinion and then another opinion, and, you know, there's evidence in support of one choice or another, right? And so this could be where you're at, maybe kind of thinking things over, thinking things through, finding evidence to support staying in this relationship, finding evidence to support leaving this relationship, right? Because there's always good with bad, right? And what I'm hearing with this is that Eminem song, Without Me. The lyric that specifically came up was, no, I'm not the king of controversy, but no matter how many other fish in the sea, it'll feel so empty without me. And so I feel as though you could be feeling as though you're going to miss out on something if you don't go one way or the other, right? Or if you go one way instead of the other, right? And so this is really kind of highlighting here that this is about the long game and not the short-term gains, okay? So this is where you're going to be passing up good for great. And so this is really a reminder here when I go back and look at the card and I'm thinking about the snake. We don't want to tempt fate, right? What is destined for you will happen, okay? So what I'm saying here is, and I'm getting big chills with this, is listen, don't stoop to this person's level, okay? This is going to get risky for you. If you choose to stay in a situation that is not meant for you, trust and believe that this will happen to come about to fall, so much like the Tower in the tarot, right? If it is not meant for you, it will be cleared away eventually by spirit if you are not willing to leave that situation, right? And so, you know, I feel as though You could be finding at this point maybe their actions to be maybe even kind of disturbing, right? I feel like you could be overly annoyed with them. And so I feel like you could be wanting to just completely call it quits. You could be feeling as though you've just reached this breaking point. And I'll be honest with you, if you've gotten to this point and you haven't yet left the relationship and you are going to choose to stay for monetary reasons or to feel comfortable, to stay in a comfort zone or to get through the holidays or whatever that is, right? Whatever that looks like for you, I feel as though you're going to get to a point, and the word that came through was snap. You're going to snap, right? You're going to just lose your shit at some point, and you're going to be like, I can't do this anymore, right? And I'm getting big chills with that. So I definitely feel that's validation. That's definitely somebody's message out there. So, I feel as though taking a step back is the best option at this point. Even if it's not calling it quits really good, right? Maybe you're just going to take a break, take a separation. And I feel with this, your absence is definitely going to be felt by this other person. And you're obviously going to, take a break from this. And what you're going to gain out of that is that in the end, you're going to have greater understanding. Because I feel like right now you're in a place where your nerves are kind of on edge. They're very irritable, right? Where anything can just make you snap, right? But coming back, taking a step back from that, you're going to have a space where you're going to settle those nerves a bit. And you're going to be able to connect with your true feelings, your intuition, right? Because you're going to have greater clarity from that. And so it's going to allow you to have that connection to self. And you're going to realize, like maybe even have epiphanies, right? In that time and space to see in exactly all aspects. How was I happy? How was I unhappy? And I really think that you might come to the conclusion that you'll see where things were falling short. And you're really going to know going forward what you will and won't stand for. This is going to be a big turning point for you, a pivotal moment in your relationships. So really coming back to self and self-love is really what I think is the moral of all of this. So for the Lover's card, right? And so how will you nurture yourself going forward and maintain those boundaries in relationships as you move into new circumstances? Even if you are going to step back into trying to make things work with this person, you create those boundaries. It creates a new dynamic if you're willing to try. So I wish you all the best with that. And that is the message for this evening. As always, if you're interested in your own personal reading, I'd love to be able to do that for you. You can hit me up in the messenger on Facebook, on the Enchanted Emerald website, or here on my personal business page. Here on the YouTube, I will post the links down below for my Square site. As always, you can email me as well at enchantedemeraldny@gmail.com. And I hope everybody has a phenomenal evening. Thank you. Take care.